Hey everyone, Kyron here from No BS Crypto, back with a new video. Now, if you are new to my channel, I would like to extend a very warm welcome. My goal with this channel is to provide you no BS crypto content on a weekly basis. Now, this has to be one of the most highly anticipated videos I've actually had in quite a while, and I would say it's for good reason too. You see, Acala has to be the most influential and at least advertised Polkadot parachain there currently is. Now, the content of this video will be going over some of the more important topics that have been discussed as of the article as of November the 4th, 2021, and hopefully this should clarify a few things for you. I will also be giving you my DOT to ACA ratio prediction, so stay tuned for that at the end of the video. Now, I also want to mention, if you did miss the first waitlist for Acala, it's okay. You can still participate with rewards as well, but stay tuned for more information on that. Now, I have already made a video on Acala, and I do suggest you check that out for a full comprehensive understanding of what Acala actually is. And you can check that video out at the top right-hand corner on your screen. I mentioned some of the things in a lot more detail that I will be in this video, like LC dot. But please watch this video the whole way through. Trust me, there is some really important updates I need to share with you. Just before I begin, I want to stop you all and let you know in the next few days, I'll be coming out with my Polkadot Parachain strategy video, where I'll be outlining some really important information, referring back to some of these videos, and also giving you my strategy for these parachains, because as we all know, the content I've been producing recently has shed some really important light on how little rewards we're getting out of some of these larger crowd loans. So I'll be giving you my strategy moving forward and how I will be making the most out of my returns for these parachains. With that being said, let's move into the video. First and foremost, I would like to inform you that if you did miss the original waitlist, you're still eligible to participate in the crowd loan. When Acala lists that they're open for the crowd loan, then you are simply able to participate through the provided measures. Now, a quick little bonus, if you actually head to Acala's website, the link will be in the description, and enter your email address in here, you'll be able to gain an additional 7% bonus ACA tokens. Unfortunately though, you have missed some of the additional benefits and rewards, but I will go over these later in the video. At least at the end of the day, this 7% is still better than nothing. So I will try not to overlap information from my last video. However, if I do apologize. So first thing is first, let's get the basics out of the way. So Acala will have two options available for their crowd loan process, which is definitely unique. The first option is a traditional style crowd loan where you lock your DOT tokens away for 96 weeks, receive ACA tokens in return, and then after the 96 weeks are up, you'll receive all of your unstaked DOT tokens back, as well as keeping your ACA tokens, of course. Now, the second option works similarly. You will lock away your DOT tokens for 96 weeks and definitely still receive a portion of your ACA tokens immediately, and the remaining over the lease period, of course. However, upon locking your DOT away, you'll actually receive an equal 1-to-1 ratio of LC dot, which stands for Liquid Crowd Loan dot. Now, it was mentioned over the last couple of weeks that these LC dot tokens were to immediately be a weaker ratio to your DOT tokens and gradually reach a 1-to-1 ratio towards the end of the 2-year lease. However, in this final article, Acala clarifies that this will remain a 1-to-1 ratio immediately and throughout the entire duration of the lease. I think they kind of realized that when the third parties such as Equilibrium began offering a 1-to-1 immediate peg with their liquid dot variants, that they were going to lose a lot of ecosystem growth and therefore made the decision to switch back. Now, actually, I did do some due diligence and confirm this directly with Acala on Twitter, and as you can see from the screenshot, they do state that the LC dot is a 1-to-1 keyword here, guys, ratio of what you submitted, not actually pegged. So what this means is that if DOT is worth 2 times less in 2 years and you have already used your LC dot to convert back into USDT for another investment and therefore had to buy some more back to unlock your original DOT investment in 2 years' time, you would be getting a far better deal here. You'd be buying back your original DOT investment, in this case, for 2 times less, whilst maintaining any gains you obviously made on the original LC dot fund that you had converted into USDT, and from there, obviously did whatever. Moreover, this could be bad if we see a super cycle and your locked dot is now worth, say, 4 times the value. You would need to buy back an equal amount of LC dot to redeem it. And in this case, I think you might be better off just surrendering it. So this is obviously great for us, and I will be mentioning this in my Parachain strategy video. Acala does plan to secure the first slot, and in all honesty, I think they will, and I think a lot of people also would agree with that. So my strategy of using LC dot to contribute to other parachains will actually still be on the table. So let's talk a bit about the percentages and vesting. So the total supply of ACA will be 1 billion tokens, with 17% of the supply, aka 170 million ACA, being allocated for the Parachain rewards. Now, out of that 17%, 15 will be used as the actual participation rewards, and 2% of that will be used for the various bonuses. I find it interesting that Acala has used the example of 15% of the supply when calculating returns and not 17% in their article. I would personally include the additional 2%, as this will most likely be used up and therefore included in the supply, and hence for my calculations, I'll be going off the 170 million Parachain supply. Now, in regards to the reward distribution, only 20% of your ACA rewards will be given to you upon Acala launching its network after a slot victory. The remaining 80% will be vested linearly, block by block, over the 96 weeks. So yeah, this means that if you're going to look for gains this bull run, we are required to base returns on 20% of our contribution. This is actually something I have seen with all of the other projects, so it isn't just Acala, and it actually makes sense to do this when you think about it. Although it would be great to see a bit of a higher percentage here, like Moonbeam's 30%, for example. So I thought I had better quickly clarify the reward system for anyone that is curious. However, on my video on Acala from a few weeks back, it does mention some other rewards as well. So for those of you who have signed up for the first waitlist about 2 weeks ago, you would have been sent a referral code today via email that you can use to gain an additional 10% ACA tokens when you self-refer. That's right. You have to enter this referral code when submitting your DOT tokens, and remember to use the same address as the one you have supplied. Now, you have to do this yourself, even though it's your own code, hence why it's called self-referring. To clarify, this reward is actually broken up into 5% for the referrer, which is obviously yourself, and 5% for the referee. Hence, when you do this yourself, you're given the full 10%. Now, you can hand this code around, and it will gain anyone that uses it an extra 5% bonus ACA rewards, which is obviously great. Now, for the people that didn't sign up for the first waitlist, that is okay. You can still enter a referral code that someone has given you and still receive this 5% bonus. And I'll actually leave mine at the top of the description, as well as a direct link. Obviously, using that will benefit you and also me, so it would mean a real lot if you guys could use that as a means of support as well. I really do appreciate it. Although once you've used my referral code and you have surrendered your DOT to Acala, there will be your own generated code that you can use for your friends as well. Just briefly now, for the bonuses, I will break this up into 4 categories that I mentioned, starting with the VIP referral bonus. For this reward, you're required to refer over 3,000 DOT tokens with 500 accounts that have used your referral code. There will only be 100 winners of this, and if there are more than 100 people that have completed this, the referral codes with the highest number of DOT tokens contributed will win. Now, this will gain the referrer an additional 10% bonus ACA tokens. Next is the Acala Quest bonus, which I've touched on in my previous video. It's super simple and easy, and anyone can actually qualify. This will gain you an additional 2% rewards, so I suggest you take the time and watch how to do this after the video. Yes, 2% doesn't seem like much, but it all depends on your contribution amount. Then we have the Karara Quest bonuses, which is for the people that contributed to the Karara crowd loan on Kusama. This unfortunately does exclude those who participated using exchanges, and to prove you did participate, you must use the same account that you sent your tokens to Karara on. Not the same address, obviously, but the same account. Now, this will gain you an additional 2% bonus as well. And finally, you will gain an Acala crowdloan NFT for your participation, which is redeemable after you contribute your DOT tokens and is available for anyone except those who will be using an exchange to partake. And speaking of exchanges, Acala has listed the supporting exchanges are Kraken, Binance, OKX, KuCoin, and Newland, who I'm pretty sure no one's actually ever heard about. So I have had a couple of people ask me about Binance and whether they are actually offering users to contribute, and they did come out with a tweet that I did retweet, so make sure you do follow me for instant news and updates. But they actually said that they are supporting quite a few projects competing in the first 5 auctions. They're also offering bonus rewards themselves, as well as B dot, which is another liquid 1-to-1 dot variant as well. Now, as appealing as this is, I won't be participating through Binance as the rewards begin to fall away. Plus, you don't get that nice bonus NFT, which you might be able to flip down the track for some okay profit. Although for anyone that might be new to the space, I can understand how this can be very overwhelming and all this information may be confusing to you. In this case, I would actually say the best idea would be participating through the Binance exchange, as this is very easy to navigate, and having liquid tokens already in this environment would save you a headache or possibly a very costly mistake. Anyway, if you want more info on how this works, then I can come up with a quick 5-minute video on it ASAP, but let me know down below. Okay, so it's finally time for my ratio prediction. Now, I don't really want this video to go on for too long, so what I will do is take out my mass that I did show in my Moonbeam and Aster videos, and instead just give you the answers you're looking for. So the first of all, we need to establish how many tokens are given for the Parachain auctions, which we all know is 170 million ACA tokens. Next, we need to guesstimate how much funding will be going into the crowdloan, and for that we need to take the rough social differences between Acala and its sisternet Karara. So Karara has 90,000 Twitter followers, which is 1.8 times less than Acala's at 165,000. For this though, I will round up to a 2x difference here. Now, going back to Karara, we know that the rough value entered into the crowdloan was $227 million. So therefore, for a rough value, we can assume that the value injected into Acala will be 2x that at $454 million. To work out what this equals in terms of DOT tokens, we simply divide this value by the current value of DOT, which is $51, meaning that we are looking at around $8.901960 million DOT to be contributed. We can cross-check this by taking a look at the quantity of people participating in the first waitlist round, which had more than 165,000 people sign up. Now, I was going to take an average of 20 DOT contributed per person. However, we need to remember that there are going to be far more people that are only learning about Acala now. So I think we would see far more than 165,000 participants overall, and therefore I will put the average DOT contribution to 50 DOT per person. Also, we can't forget that most people will be participating with a lot more than just 20 DOT. So in this case, we simply multiply 165,000 by 50 and we get 8.250000 million DOT. I honestly don't know why I said it like that. Pretty much 8.25 million DOT. And just remember, this may be a lot higher, all depending on the average DOT contribution per person, as well as how many more people participate after the first waitlist. At this current contribution, this would place the market cap of Acala at, get this, $2.669520 billion if all the tokens were in supply. However, we need to factor in that 80% of the crowdloan tokens are vested, and that would come to, and I'm going to give you the maths on this one, 90,800,000 times 5.88, which comes to $533 million market cap. But remember, this is just my estimate. Just so you're aware, however, the other pools have their supply immediately in circulation. So other than the lockup of the Parachain tokens, the remaining supply is immediately in circulation. As you can see, these figures both line up. However, we are missing one crucial piece of information. The total amount of DOT unlocked was reported at around 65 million tokens, and seeing as Acala is the #1 Parachain project in everyone's mind, this figure could swell to more than 15 million DOT, and I actually think it will. I honestly think we are looking at a minimum DOT contribution of 13 million here, and I'm being very conservative. This would put the market cap of Acala at a very rough $780 million. Now, we need to also factor in the buy pressure once she has been listed on an exchange and obviously been launched as an official parachain. And I would probably say expect a retracement from those who sell their 20% immediately, and possibly another push after a retracement for those who would like to FOMO in. This would be my best guess, although it's simply that, a guess. Now, depending at what time Acala launches, we very well also might see a non-stop onslaught of green candles. So I said I wasn't going to carry on and ramble, but I have been, so enough. Let's get to the ratio now. In this case, we're going to work off my usual 10 DOT per person, as that makes it easy to estimate what your contribution would look like. We would also use 3 values of DOT supplied. Firstly, we're going to use my lowest valuation of 8.901960 million DOT, and then to my modest guess of 13 million, and then to where it could go, which is going to be an extreme 25 million DOT. So firstly, the first figure would look like a ratio of 1 DOT to 19 Acala. Second, 13 million would look like a 1 DOT to 13 Acala. And thirdly, 25 million DOT would look like a 1 to 6.8 Acala ratio. Let me repeat myself. No one has a crystal ball, so no one knows where this could really go. But being the most hyped Polkadot parachain, I would say my best ratio would actually come and fall between a 1 DOT to 6 ACA and 1 DOT to 17 ACA, as you can see on screen. Now, if this were to be correct, we need to base your profits on 20% of your allocation, which means that having invested 10 DOT at a best case scenario of, let's just say 17 ACA, you would receive 170 ACA tokens. Now, I promise you that I wasn't going to bore you with the math, so I'm just going to base where the price will go on the information I have provided you. Now, this is assuming that the DOT contribution in the crowdloan is 13 million, and therefore the market cap is 780 million. Full disclosure, this is where I'm starting. So this wouldn't make much sense, as the DOT contributed would need to be around 10 million. However, let's stick with the best case scenario. So I guess let's move forward. And in this case, the average token price you're paying for is 90 cents, which actually doesn't sound all that bad. However, let's remember that there is 864 million tokens in circulation with a market cap valuation of $780 million at this price, which means right off the rip, if the price basically doubles and a bit, therefore meaning the market cap essentially does too, this means the price reaches $2 and you're looking at making, get this, $336, of course, minusing that 80% that is locked away, and that comes to a measly $67.20 from a $510 investment. Yeah, I know, it is very, very bad. Now, you can sit and argue that you will use your LC DOT to, say, for example, fund other investment opportunities. However, I wouldn't waste my time with this. By the time you receive your ACA tokens and try to take them out again for profit, as well as try to organize a transfer of your LC DOT back into DOT and then into another parachain or crypto, chances are you've missed a couple of boats. This really isn't for me in this case. I will still be contributing Acala, however, not as much DOT as I once thought. In my humble opinion, you're far better off waiting for a bear market situation to accumulate Acala, and this is actually exactly what I'll be doing alongside its sisternet, Karara. Now, if you are a regular viewer of mine, you'll notice that this is an ongoing theme with some of these larger parachains, and is even more of a reason why I love Clover Finance, Latentry, Darwinia, Affinity, and pretty much other openly traded parachains. You're essentially exposed to price movement without having to lock up your DOT tokens at extremely disgusting ratios. So I hope this has opened your eyes in regards to the immediate gains possible with Acala, but more importantly, I hope this has given you some more light on the crowdloan process and some of the things you may have had questions on. Now, I 100% know there's going to be some die-hard Acala fans in the comments, and I want to let you all know, don't worry, I really do love Acala as well. In fact, I actually wanted the Vice President of Growth, Dan Reeser, to come on here with an AMA to talk with you guys as well, but understandably, he's very, very busy. But most importantly, I want to let you all know that most of my audience is made up of people that want the best bang for their buck, and unfortunately, Acala, as much as I would like it to, cannot provide that for us this bull run. Remember, guys, these bull runs only come around once every 4 years, and I'm mainly talking about the last few violent months of a cycle. Now, with all that being said, please let me know what you're doing in the comment section below. I want to hear your opinions. Are you going to be investing in Acala still? Or is this going to stop you from investing and maybe look at what I'll be doing in my next video? With all that being said, thanks so much again for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.